Thanks, Dan. I'm Mike Christensen. I'm the Executive Director of the Utah Rail Passengers Association. Let's go ahead and get to the first slide there. Next slide. Yes, welcome to Utah. Next slide. Next. Utah is one of the nation's fastest growing states. Next, yes, well, Utah grew, well, basically Utah is growing at 3 times the rate of the rest of the nation. And next, yes. In Utah, our population is very much centralized around our metropolitan area. So 3/4 of the people in Utah live in just 4 of Utah's 29 counties. And over 1/3 of Utah's 3.4 million residents live in Salt Lake County alone. And having a metropolitan region of 2.5 million gives Utah a lot of transportation advantages. For example, go ahead, and again, and again, and again. Yes, we have a wonderful airport, hit it one more time, that serves more than 100 destinations currently. Our terminals and concourses have all been reconstructed in the last few years, and we also have a light rail line that serves our airport. We also have 80 miles of commuter rail, 40 miles of light rail, 2 miles of streetcar, and 16 miles of bus rapid transit. So we have a rather robust local transit system that serves our metro region. Next. The problem, well, highways are ubiquitous in Utah by means of the Utah Department of Transportation. Our transit system is very constrained into various transit districts around our state, and it is highly siloed such that we have very few actual public transit connections that connect between our various transit districts. And basically, it is not anyone's responsibility within the government of Utah to actually care about having transit that connects between our transit districts or to rural areas beyond those transit districts. Next. So as a grad student studying this problem, I quickly realized that Utah lacks the institutional capacity to pursue intercity passenger rail as a transportation solution, and was somewhat proven right when our corridor ID application for Salt Lake City to Las Vegas was denied, unfortunately. Not that I wanted to be proved right, but next slide. And because of realizing this capacity void, I created the Utah Rail Passengers Association back in 2018 in order to try and give leadership and vision to what we could do in Utah. Next. And hit it a couple times there. What I've been working on is basically an intrastate intercity passenger rail system for Utah that, well, the thin blue line that goes east and west across Utah is the route of Amtrak's California Zephyr. The gold highlighted portion between Ogden and Provo is Frontrunner, which is our commuter rail system that runs hourly service and half-hourly service during peak times. And the red lines are Amtrak state-supported services that I am proposing that would connect Salt Lake City north to Logan and southeast to Moab and Grand Junction and southwest to Cedar City. It would be conventional speeds at class 4 up to 79 miles per hour, but it could be upgraded in the future to support class 7 speeds up to 125 miles per hour. And the one dark blue line on there is the connection between Cedar City and St. George. because Washington County, where St. George is located, which is one of the fastest growing communities in the nation, it's one of the most populated counties in the nation to lack any rail connection whatsoever. And there is, other than work that I've been looking at, there hasn't been any studies of how to actually add rail that would connect to St. George, but that's something we hope to be able to look at in the future. Next slide. We are also very supportive of other efforts throughout the region to expand intercity passenger rail into neighboring states. This is a slide from an Amtrak presentation from a couple summers ago, showing connections to Boise, Reno, Las Vegas, and Denver. And next slide. Also supportive of the corridor ID applications involving Utah for the portions of the Pioneer and the Desert Wind between Salt Lake City and Boise and Salt Lake City and Las Vegas. Next. And the Utah Rail Passengers Association also participated in the Amtrak, or the FRA's Amtrak Long Distance Service Study. And I am very happy with the results of the study, and I hope that we are able to push that forward. Next. I also have to make brief mention of Colorado, which has the Bustang intercity bus service, which is a very good model for how we can be developing intercity transportation. And I mentioned it partly, next slide. A couple months ago, I had some colleagues from Denver make a visit to Salt Lake City. One of them works for CDOT and said that CDOT's own travel demand model fails to predict the actual ridership of its own Bustang system. It only predicts a very small amount of people that will actually be riding the bus. And that same travel demand model fails to predict the actual intrastate ridership of Amtrak's California Zephyr within Colorado. So the people that are riding, for example, between Denver and Glenwood Springs and Grand Junction on Amtrak. So the conclusion that we can draw from that is many state DOTs do not have adequate tools for assessing demand for rural and intercity transit and will likely fail to recognize the need for it. And at least CDOT in Colorado is realizing the issues with their own model. In Utah, we still are being told that we don't support a lot of this intercity transit effort because our models aren't saying that anybody's going to ride it. So that's something that I think that the FRA and also Amtrak need to pay a little more attention to, that a lot of our state DOTs are still stuck in the past. Next slide. And I have been trying for, well, the last couple of years as we've been having the Greater Northwest Passenger Rail Summit to get more people from Utah to actually attend this summit. And unfortunately, I'm one of the few people from Utah who is here. So one idea that I would love to work on for 2025 is to host the Utah Rail Summit. Since we haven't been able to get people to come to the Greater Northwest Summit, we may as well just host one in Utah. So I am looking for partners to help sponsor and fund that effort. Let me know afterwards if you're interested in being a part of that, and we can help get some vision and solutions for the 3.4 million people that live in Utah. And yes, one final shot of California Zephyr in Utah. So we'll go ahead and pass this on.
Thank you, Mike.